started. Now approaching the Scamrow Mail Building on the Fleet Street location in Ashton Under Lyne. So today the postal staff decided to stay in the building till 8 PM in the evening. It's obviously 8 o'clock at night, isn't it? Sat in watching the actual tracks of Lazy Town, because that's what it seems to be, doesn't it? So now all the vehicles are actually in the car park now, look, and yet they can't even deliver the post a tenth of a mile. It's ever so difficult. Look at all this lot. So this is the actual number of vehicles they've actually got. Look, and yet it's ever so difficult with this number of vehicles. They've got a new vehicle over there, haven't they? That's like two new vehicles though, isn't it? So with all these vehicles in the car park, they somehow find it really difficult with paid postage to deliver a post and parcels to a home address a tenth of a mile distance. Just a total ridiculous scamming disgrace though, isn't it? Obviously. Look at it all here, look. Here's all the evidence, look. You see the vehicles inside here, look. All this lot inside here, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 on the right hand side, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's at least 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 vehicles that are limit inside here at least. And yet the Lazy Town postal services can't deliver post a tenth of a mile. I wonder who's the manager on now at this time of the evening. Restrictions still on board here though, isn't it? Still got a restriction on board here, haven't they? A sly town. How sly. Like nobody's actually at the reception desk. Well, nobody's staffing the reception desk now, have a look. They've got nobody sat on the chair staffing the reception desk. Managed to keep the computer system switched on, wasting power with nobody sat at the chair at the desk. So they're not staffing the positions, are they? Obviously, look, the chair's empty though, isn't it? The chair's empty and I can't see any staff about. So where have the staff gone to? They must be sat in watching Lazy Town. Press the bell. There's actually a bell here, look. I've got to press the bell for the staff. The bell's made a noise now though, hasn't it?
Yes, please.
Is the actual rather incompetent lazy manager here called Andrew Cole, is he?
No, they go at 2 o'clock.
They go at 2 PM. But you managed to sat in here watching Lazy Town today up until 8 PM, don't you?
I serve people till 8, yeah.
Yeah, but the postal service is lazy and incompetent and making vast mistakes. Who's the manager here now? If Andrew Cole has gone home at 2 PM on a Wednesday, who's the manager afterwards?
There isn't a manager afterwards. We just open the caller's office, that's all.
Yeah, but how does the customer post complaints if the manager goes home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
It's come when the manager's here, I'm afraid.
Or if the manager's over in what's he doing over in Rochdale during the day? What's the manager doing over in Rochdale when he's a staff member for here?
I don't know. We have 2 managers.
You've got 2 managers for the lazy, incompetent postal services.
I can't speak to you today.
Well, I've got posts that need sorting out, haven't I?
Well, you need to speak to a manager.
Well, what's the other manager's called besides Andrew Cole?
Adam, the one you've got the phone number of.
What's the last name?
Bartram. Bartram, with a B.
B-A-R-T-R-U-M?
Yes, I think so.
Andrew Bartram?
No,
Adam Bartram.
Yeah.
So he's the deputy manager?
Yeah.
Is he here to speak to?
No, on a Wednesday afternoon there is only the caller's office open.
Yeah, but that's highly irresponsible. If a customer wants to speak to a manager,
it's not irresponsible. We open the caller's office.
They need to make sure either the main manager's here or the deputy manager's here.
Right.
Because that's irresponsible customer services, isn't it?
We're here just to serve people's parcels who weren't here.
No, because if you're making mistakes, you have to have a manager here to deal with the complaints.
I've not made any mistakes.
This service here is worse than New Mills Postal Services.
You need to come when the manager's here. Thank you.
You can't shut the door in my face. That's highly bad, though, isn't it? I need to. I'm waiting for my post, but I'm waiting for my post, aren't I? But you can't shut the door in my face and walk away like that.
What are you waiting for? Do you have a notice left?
Well, what I need to say is I've got some more paperwork here, obviously. Right. Try and find the details now. So the repeated issue is you banned the post since the 4th of April 2017. There's the evidence. That's like 2 years ago you banned the post for no reason.
I haven't, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, your manager and decision makers here banned my home post since that particular
you
day.
A postal
No,
worker.
I did not. You've got no evidence on that whatsoever, because you're a bunch of scheming liars, basically. And also, you're not taking the evidence, are you? Basically, I can't even push. I can push the evidence underneath the table, can't I? On the panel here. There's the evidence, right? And there's the evidence, right? That you charged me £10.92 for post that contains no signature. That contains no signature. Look, that's actually the tracking ID number. A post that contains no signature, no proper name and no proper time and date stamp. You can't even do your job. You're worse than Somalian postal services in a third world developing country. You're a total ridiculous disgrace, and you can't even open the hatch to hear me clearly. I wonder where the evidence is now. So here's a tracking website here afterwards. You've typed the same stupid details 3 or 4 times, like the word observation, 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 but possibly 5 times because you're daft and incompetent. So it's missing now on the first screen of the tracking ID. The signature, as I've already said, you're missing the signature, and you're also missing the proper full name, and you're also missing the time and date stamp and the date, and there's your own evidence, isn't it? Look, there's your evidence that you can't even do your jobs properly for paid postal services. There's the evidence, and you've shut the door in my face now. That's illegal.
This is where we serve people.
No, you don't. You open the hatch and you speak to the customers and you make sure the manager is here to deal with any complaints. And you
This is where we serve.
no, you open the hatch and you speak to the customer. So I shouldn't be speaking to the secondary staff. I need to be speaking to the manager or the deputy manager. You've made 2 lots of mistakes recently. That's against the law, and you can't do that. You've actually broken the law and made 2 lots of mistakes. Because you're a bunch of numpties worse than Somalian postal services.
Sir, if you have a complaint...
Yeah, I'm not prepared to phone a scamming telephone line with another numpty on the phone system. I need to speak to the manager. I need to speak to the manager of the dodgy postal services. I need to speak to the manager of the worse than Somalian dodgy postal services. And you're not even staffing the counter in the correct position.
This is where we serve people.
You don't serve. Why should I have to get my own post when you've got 13 vehicles that I've counted in the yard? It's only a 1/10 of a mile distance, you lazy numpties.
Because you assaulted the postman.
No, I did not assault the postman. Your postal services have caused difficulties at my home address for 30 years, and if you would have travelled 26 miles to New Mills, you could have had an education on how to deliver post at New Mills Postal Services responsibly for 55 years. I need to speak to a manager here now, instant.
Well, you need to come back when the managers are here.
Well, you need to make sure the managers are here to deal with the complaints then, don't you, obviously? And stop being worse than Somalian postal services.
Yes.
You're a total ridiculous disgrace.
Can I help you, sir?
You're actually a total ridiculous. I need to speak to him. When's the manager going to be here now? When's the manager going to be here for now?
Morning.
When's the manager going to be here for?
7 o'clock in the morning, sir.
7 o'clock in the morning. Well, at least the infrared vision will work in the 7 in the morning, won't it? Obviously.
Well, no, it's daylight.
If you turn the fucking lights off because you're so dim and useless. You should be improving customer services and learning from New Mills Postal Services for what is 55 years of normal post. Absolute ridiculous disgrace you are. It's actually worse than New Mills Postal Services. When they had sensible post for 55 years, you're nothing but a bunch of lazy town numpties in a complete shithole and a rubbish dump Tameside. Nothing but a bunch of rubbish dumped Tameside in a shithole, sat in watching Lazy Town up until 8 o'clock in the evening. You're a total ridiculous disgrace. It wouldn't be this bad in Somalia. Lazy frickers. It's actually worse than New Mills Postal Services. It's dump. It's nothing more than a bloody rubbish dump. A complete shithole, incompetent rubbish dump. It wouldn't be as bad as this in Somalia. Somalian postal services work a damn sight better in this worse than third world developing country dump. And I paid £10.92 for next day delivery of post, yet can't even provide a signature, a proper name, a time and date stamp followed by the address, and then come up with total scheming lies afterwards with no evidence. I've got all the evidence that he stepped away from the counter and not provided the manager to deal with a complaint. Nothing but a bunch of lazy numpties.